the Shelly Studio, and this is my Hot Mess Monday. I have a couple of texture pastes that I have not used since they were given to me. They were gifted to me. Somebody had bought them and never used them. Didn't even know what to use them for. So I'm like, sure, I'll take them. And they are like, I don't know, I want to say grit or sand. Let's see. They're both by Golden, and one is, Fine Pumice, and the other one is Coarse. So I don't have medium, but I have fine and coarse. And I don't know, I've kind of wanted to use them up. I've had them for quite a while now. And so I figured I would just put them on some paper. This is Bristol paper, and it's, I don't know, maybe 120 pound. It's not heavy enough to keep it from warping. It warps pretty good, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a very messy process, and I was afraid that this was taking me so long to get this covered that it was going to go hard on my stencil, but I just stuck it in some water and let it soak, and it came right off. What I didn't realize when doing this is I must have used Dilution's spray on this before this project, and must not have got it all off, because you'll see later when I pull this off that there's a little bit of pink. Okay, there's a lot of pink. So that was the fine, and this is the coarse. Look how coarse this is. It was like smearing on concrete. It was so rough. In fact, I didn't think it would go through those little teeny holes. Once I started spreading it, I'm like, yeah, well, it goes through fairly well. You can definitely tell the difference. At this point, I was kind of afraid that it wasn't going to go through, so I decided to smear on some of the Fine Pumice, just to make sure something went through those holes. It ended up being quite a lot of layers left on the stencil to wash off, and I made sure I got it in the garbage and not down the drain. So that'd be like pouring concrete down the drain, I think. So here it is dry. See all that pink? And I know it's reactive to water, so I decided to coat it with some matte medium, hoping that it would seal that down and not come through. I did something with that Dilution spray and tried to gesso an area over it, and I did like 5 layers of gesso, and it still bled through. So I was worried that this was going to bleed, but I think between the pumice gel and the matte medium and the gesso that I put on afterwards, I think it's going to stay covered. Plus, with all the color I put on top, you'll never know. Just trying to smooth that all out. I really just want the pumice to be the texture, but I do end up with a little bit of lumps of this matte medium. Even though I worked really hard to smooth it out, I need a bigger brush, a wider brush. There we go. So now that's all dry, and we're gonna put this gesso on. This is actually a concoction of mine. It's originally it was Master's Touch acrylic gesso, which is super coarse. and it wasn't covering very well on something else I was doing. So I added a little white acrylic paint, and then I was almost out of the gesso, so I poured in some Liquitex gesso and some white acrylic paint. And so it's probably a combination of Master's Touch, Liquitex, and basic white paint. Told you it was a concoction. But it covers pretty well. I've been using it to cover magazines for my journal for 2017. And it does a pretty good job of covering the images. Yeah. But it's very coarse. It's very coarse. And yes, you can see my iPad up there. I'm watching YouTube videos as I'm painting. Because this is just for fun. You know, when I get this done, I'm like, I still think I need to do something more to it. I'd cut it up for ATC cards, but I don't think I can cut through that sand. So once this is done, I wait for it to dry all the way, and then I use some paint on it. And I have one golden high flow. It says it's turquoise. It's quite blue, I think. That's the one that's on there. Sorry, I started painting and I'm like, oh, I need to turn the camera on. So, we're just adding this. This is the high flow. Adding it and spritzing water to get it to run around. I just wanted to see what it would do around the texture. And then the other three are just craft paint. So I'm adding some water to it to make it a little bit more runny. And we're going to put that on there. And spray it like crazy with my little spray bottle. Now we'll go for the pink. This one was called, oh, Passion Rose or something. Sorry you can't see part of that when I'm whacking it. I'm just trying to get it to run all the way to the bottom. And this one is neon pink. And my neon craft paint is really runny, so it flows pretty good. My brush was too blue, so it was turning it purple. So I thought I'd use my fingers. You didn't see me, but I just have a little mister that has some really thinned down acrylic paint. And I'm just spraying a little bit of black. I wanted some depth in there. But I think I get a little too carried away. I think I probably shouldn't have spritzed it with water, because I do spritz it with water. And it kind of makes it run too much. Practically turns the whole thing black. There, I'm trying just to hit the tops of those textures, but I'm not sure that's working really. Decided that area was too much the same. Excuse me. So now it's dry, and I don't like it as well as when it was wet. And I decided it needs a pop of white, so I'm just using a foam brush, really lightly brushing the tops with the white paint. And this is a heavier body paint. This is the same paint I use mixing my gesso. Just to hit the tops of everything, maybe increase the contrast a little bit. Hopefully make it more interesting. There we go, and I still feel like it needs more. So now I'm taking navy and Payne's gray, very dark Payne's gray, looks almost black, and just trying to darken around in different areas just to give it that pop of black again. And as I'm doing this, it kind of looks like the cosmos, planets, or meteorites, or a blown up planet. All those crazy textured circles at the bottom, they could be meteors or asteroids. I'm just doing it around in different areas. Just randomly, really. Not thinking too much about it. Sorry, this kind of goes on forever. You can fast forward. I won't even know. I go around and darken around the edges. At some point here is where the battery dies while I'm working on it. And so it will jump. You won't have to see that part. Boom, see? So all that has dried. And I decided it just needs one more thing. And so I'm using my little, it's a little phone book that I got from Cindy Utter and some Happy Mail. And I just put the glitter paint, it's clear glitter, on that, and then I'm just going to put it on a few of the circles just to give it a little bit of sparkle. No, you can't really see it straight on from there, but maybe in the end photos you'll be able to see that, the sparkle on those. Alrighty, so there you have it. Look at that crazy texture. So what do you think? Let me know what you think. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please hit like. Feel free to share. Love to hear your comments. And if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.